So the entire Warriors season started with a Draymond punch, and it may end in due part to a Draymond stomp. Welcome to the Damon Bruce Show here on Damon Bruce Plus. It is wonderful to have you here on Wednesday. We got April 19th, which means tomorrow's 420, and thank God Fish will be gone by tomorrow because I don't need a Fish show on 420. 2 nights of Fish at the Greek have basically rendered my left foot almost broken and an older man, not nearly half the man he used to be. But we forge on, and my status for tonight at one point was downgraded from probable to doubtful, maybe edging towards probable again. We'll have to see if I'm there for the set run closer tonight at the Greek. But holy shit, Draymond got suspended. I'm surprised. You're surprised. I think we're all a little bit surprised. Normally when a player gets thrown out of an NBA game, that moment in itself, in the vacuum of that moment, is the discipline that is attached to whatever occurred. So I thought pretty much time served, Draymond getting ejected for a game, a playoff game that the Warriors lose, that they were in. Like, that's enough of a punishment. The NBA sees it differently. And the statement from Joe Dumars might as well just saved us a whole bunch of time and just came out with a sentence just saying, yeah, we think this guy's kind of an asshole and we've had it up to here with him. Because that's really why Draymond has been suspended. Not only was his demeanor, his conduct detrimental after the fact, and again, I think I'm the first show to point out that it really wasn't the act that got Draymond in trouble and suspended. It was all of the machinations that he was going through, provoking the crowd and inciting, just going crazy Draymond, that got him in an awful lot of trouble. And basically, the NBA admitted that was a big part of it. Not only did this guy do something that we consider a little bit too routine in his repertoire and a little bit dangerous and a little bit unprotective of guys he's playing against, but he then, while they're trying to figure out what happened, acted like a total asshole. I mean, Draymond is a paradox. He is a conundrum. He is a riddle wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in a really excellent basketball player, one of the smartest basketball players you've ever seen, with the emotional capabilities of a child who is ready to shit his pants at any minute. I don't know how many more games Draymond Green has in a Warriors uniform, and that's going to lead us into an offseason of big questions and speculations. If you would have told me, after everything the Warriors went through this year, that Draymond was honestly going to get suspended for a critical playoff game, I would have said, number one, there's no way that happens. I don't believe you. And number two, yeah, that could totally happen. I guess I sort of believe you. That's just who this guy is. I think we said it yesterday, 33 years old, 32 years old, however he is, 10 years into his career, 4 rings. You think the guy would know how to wipe his own nose by now. He doesn't. So the NBA wiped his nose for him. Tim Kawakami wrote a pretty good article about this. Tim writes that the NBA powers that be are sick and tired of Draymond Green. In other words, like I was saying, they're like, this guy's an asshole. The NBA powers that be are sick and tired of Draymond Green, who, let's be clear, is far from innocent in this situation and most assuredly has been given many warnings about this. Green has tired out a lot of people over the years. He's previously been suspended by both the league and by the Warriors, and there have been many other times where he could have been punished by either. In non-Draymond Green incidents, specifically during the playoffs, and this is Tim Kawakami, the league has usually bypassed the following suspension if A, the player was ejected from the game after the incident, and B, if that player was in any way indicted by the actions of an opponent. I think it's pretty clear that Draymond qualifies for both situations. In other words, Draymond's stomp was predicated on an ankle grab, and the entire matter was adjudicated in its moment when he got suspended. So normally those two things put you in the clear. But not in this case. Not in this case. By the way, NBA playoff action, Game 3 continues for the Warriors tomorrow night at Chase Center. I will be there. Triple header in the NBA tonight. Grizzlies looking to defend their home court. They don't want to go down 2-0 to the Lakers. We got Heat and Bucks. Giannis's availability is going to be something we keep an eye on all day. We'll see if the Timberwolves got a puncher's chance against the Nuggets a little bit later on tonight. They've got about to get swept written all over them. And if the Warriors don't pull up from their nosedive in Game 3, which they'll now have to do without Draymond Green, they might have about to get swept written all over them as well. History suggests that most defending champions in an 0-2 hole the very next year in the first round do get swept. So they're in trouble. It's official. Ooh, little good coffee this morning. Needed coffee after Big Fish show last night. Tim Kawakami goes on to say, I can picture Silver and his lieutenants feeling like Green was taunting them too. That's the thing. The commissioner was at Golden One Center for Game 2. So he's got a first-hand eyewitness as to the whole thing happening. Draymond basically trying to start a riot. And look, there's no doubt about it. When we talk to our children, and we try to install into them, mind your reputation. You only get one, and it follows you wherever you go. This is proof of that. It's really proof of that. Draymond's reputation undermined any benefit of the doubt he might have gotten in this situation. And there's also this element of, Draymond loves being the center of attention. Draymond is going to be the NBA's next, clear to see, easy to see coming, entertaining media member. When he decides to hang up the shoes and pick up a microphone full time, he's going to make that transition with a wild amount of success just waiting for him. He's a hell of a personality. He is an incredibly interesting, incredibly flawed, incredibly smart, incredibly stupid. I mean, he is the yin and the yang all in the same person, which makes him so compelling. But the NBA has basically decided, dude, you're a fucking asshole. I mean, that's the thing. As much as we like you, as much as we want to go ahead and give you the benefit of the doubt and not dramatically affect the series, you got enough asshole points scored against you to where this decision for Joe Dumars and company probably wasn't even that hard to make. And that brings me to the other point of this that is not shady, but it doesn't make the NBA look good. Because Joe Dumars, who announced the Draymond Green suspension, he recently worked in the Sacramento Kings front office. I'm talking like 2-3 years ago. In 2020, Joe Dumars was the Kings chief strategy officer, whatever the hell that means. Chief strategy officer. What does he look like? He comes in one day and he's like, today's strategy is going to be picking and rolling. I mean, what is a chief strategy officer? I don't even know. Sounds like a bullshit made-up title to me. Anyway, Joe Dumars worked for the Chiefs. There's no more strategy he could implement for them than to get Draymond suspended for a home playoff game that the Warriors absolutely have to have. So maybe he's paying off right now. Woj, he tweeted, NBA Executive Vice President Joe Dumars said on Draymond, quote, this is Dumars on Draymond, here's what it came down to. Excessive and over-the-top actions, conduct detrimental, and repeat offender. That's what separates this. That's what separates this where you end up with a suspension, is Joe Dumars' official statement. So again, it came down to excessive, over-the-top actions. The stomp was absolutely, it had some, I'd like to break your rib cage to it. It was more than just, I got to put my foot somewhere. Draymond put some stank on it. We all know that. We saw it. So that, and then the over-the-top actions, in other words, dude, you got a leaky diaper. Like, you're acting like a child out here. And Draymond does. When Draymond starts spiraling, he's almost about to punch assistant coaches on his own bench. I mean, if part of being a real leader is keeping your calm while everyone about you loses their composure, Draymond's a shit leader. And it's pretty obvious that he and what he said all year has very little effect on the next generation, the younger Warrior players, and he pretty much, lost Jordan Poole at the beginning of the year as well, and we all know why. We're not going to relitigate that. But it's just stunning that Draymond has put not only himself, but his teammates, who he claims to have the backs of at all times in this situation. You do not have the Warriors' back at all times, Draymond. As a matter of fact, you're the only human being that I can even think of who got his own ass suspended for critical NBA playoff games. At least this one isn't in the finals. Congratulations on your progress. You're getting a little bit better at playoff suspensions, but to be great at them, you get none. I mean, it's just crazy the way Draymond has conducted himself at certain times. And, he has given the Warriors so much, and he also has taken quite a bit off the table as well. Somebody here on the text line, and we will get into more text line and chatting on Club Plus. Which, by the way, I got to tell you this one thing. So we end the show here on YouTube with my traditional, and like that, he's gone, which is the end of Usual Suspects and Kevin Spacey doing that. And I don't care how unpopular Kevin Spacey is now. That movie's awesome, and Kaiser Sose is fucking great. So I don't care. Get offended. I don't give a shit. Kevin Spacey, for whatever reason, that triggers some YouTube algorithm, and they think that comes from a Ghostface Killah song. We've had 2 videos be put in escrow since we've been able to monetize these videos because that keeps tripping the algorithm. So we're going to keep doing it because we don't think we're doing anything wrong, and it's definitely not a Ghostface Killah song. But we might have to mute it before we put it up on YouTube because, again, Daddy needs to make some cash over here. And in that regard, let me thank Mike, who just dropped 100 bones. He said he wanted to send me $95.70, a little tribute to stations that make bad ideas, I guess, but make bad choices. It wasn't anyone else's the station's idea. I've got no animosity to the boys at 95.7 The Game. The idiots who run that station from above, yeah, plenty of animosity. Mike, that is the single most generous donation anyone has made in the Super Chat. I thank you deeply, deeply for it. That is very, very nice. Mike, wow. We don't expect anyone to do anything like that. But if you could all immediately give me about $100, that'd be great. No, thank you so very much, Mike. That was very, very generous. Very generous. And all I can tell you is that new camera, it's going to happen soon. Gonna happen soon. Yeah, absolutely. We got a little Rockin' New Year era saying Mike getting that VIP bottle service. Oh, dude, we're going to send over the girls in the bustiers carrying the glow sticks. We're going to make you feel real special. We are working on some live events that we'll be doing soon, hopefully be gathering, because if there is one awesome thing that is happening here every day at 11 o'clock is we got a little community that grows a little bit more by the day, by the chatter, by the person who's finding us for the first time. And it's awesome. I'm starting to get comments now because YouTube is pushing me to places that aren't in San Francisco, that aren't in the Bay Area. And there's a whole new audience discovering what I do and how I do it. And people are starting to say, all right, some unfiltered sports bullshit for a change. Like, that's nice. That's nice. So I'm glad that people are finding this. We couldn't do it without you. So hopefully we'll be getting together soon. We'll be getting together very, very soon. And thanking you all for just an incredible amount of loyalty. It's been humbling. It's been awesome. And Otis Bird III, great to see you, brother. As always, thank you. He's blown away by the $100 note. I was blown away last night. I'm standing in a bathroom line, and a guy came up to me. I believe his name was Chad or Chet. I'm sorry. It's hard to remember names during the middle of a fish show, but it could not have been a bigger pluser. I mean, he said, I've been with you for your entire radio career. I have immediately subscribed to YouTube, and I love what you're doing. You're probably better now than you've ever been. Thank you. Thank you very much, Chad. It was wonderful to meet you last night. You made me feel all kinds of sexy and beautiful. Vince Vargas says, Vargas, the plus. It's all happening. Hit that like button, boys and girls. Hit that like button. Thank you, Drew. Very much appreciate that. We will get into more of your chats when we get into Club Plus in just a little bit. Draymond getting suspended. BS. He's been getting his legs grabbed and baited all series so far. Khalil, you're right. But remember, and you knew this when you were playing high school football or whatever you did, it's not the first punch that gets the discipline. It's always the reaction. There is no doubt, absolutely no doubt, that Mike Brown told the Sacramento Kings, we're issuing the code red. He went full-on Colonel Jessup. I believe that, and that's smart of Mike Brown to do. Who other than Mike Brown, who used to be, I don't want to say he was Draymond's personal coach, but he was the Warriors' defensive guru along with Ron Adams. It was Mike Brown who kept the hustle board. So he knows Draymond implicitly, and I think he knows that, hey, if you can grab, if you can pull, if you can impede his progress, here's a guy who's always on the verge of shitting his own pants. And if he does that, advantage to us. By the way, Ray Ratto wrote a really good story today on the defector. I want to go ahead and I screenshotted it because I liked it so much. We will be getting Ray on the show eventually. There have been an awful lot of requests for that to happen. It will happen. Here is what Ray wrote about Draymond in the defector. He said, Draymond was the trusted and reliable agent who made the Warriors better and is no longer that because he's not there to be trusted or relied upon in a significant moment. If Golden State wins tomorrow, it will open new avenues of debate as to how much they actually need him to succeed. If they lose, he's going to be blamed. For Draymond to have put himself in this situation, and again, if grown men are in charge of their own emotions, Draymond was in charge of controlling his emotions. He chose not to, and these are now the ramifications of that choice. But if Draymond had kept it all together, whether the Warriors have a degree of success in this playoffs that fans themselves, the franchise, Joe Lacob especially, is satisfied with, yes or no, his status on the team was shaky no matter what. Like anything less than, holy shit, the Warriors actually defended their NBA title. This team could change an awful lot during this offseason. Does this suspension endear Draymond Green to the Golden State Warriors in any way? The answer has to be a definitive no way. No way. They've got to be angry with the decision. They might not even think it was merited, but that's who you have on your team now. You got a guy who has the entire basketball world just looking for reasons to tell him to go take a hike. That's not going to change. Draymond is incapable of changing. Again, this is the finished product. There is no polishing this ruby to see what it might look like in a new light. Draymond is Draymond, and it has helped the Warriors win 4 championships, and I don't know if it will anymore. And if it won't anymore, Joe ain't going to pay for it. And Uncle Joe has slapped down so much cash the minute that Joe decides, no more open tab, you're going to have to start paying for your own drinks. I don't think any Warrior fan can complain about it. He just invested one of the single most expensive salaries in the history of professional sports into a team that at home was pretty good and on the road were the Orlando Magic. Lacob's not going to just throw money at a team that isn't, normally calling Jacob the jeweler at the end of the year talking about, we need to order another set of rings. We're going to need at least 15 of those bad boys. It wouldn't end. What the saying is basically like, everything that ends usually ends badly, or else it wouldn't end. It feels like the Warriors dynasty here is, if this ain't the end, it's certainly we're a little even past the beginning of the end. If the end is a book with 3 volumes in it, we're through the first volume of this 3-volume beginning of the end book for the Golden State Warriors. And another thing that has been lost in the sauce of this now entire series and Draymond discussion is that Steph Curry is not the best player on the court. De'Aaron Fox has emerged as the best player on the court. If Steph doesn't wrestle that back and drop 50 in Game 3, Warriors are in real big trouble. Just a massive amount of trouble. There's no way to pretend they aren't. And it's trouble that Draymond helped put them in and now has, abdicated any responsibility of helping them get out of it in Game 3 at the very least. I don't like the NBA treating this like it's just another game. I don't. Because it's not. And it's not even just another playoff game either. I mean, this really is a historical tipping point for a dynasty that has put billions of dollars into the NBA's coffer. The value of franchises has gone up because of the Golden State Warriors. The next TV deal will have gone up because of the Golden State Warriors. Any rating success that the NBA might have enjoyed in this playoffs will be less than the ultimate success that they could have enjoyed without the Golden State Warriors. This is a moment in time for the NBA, and they basically said that it means more to us to crap on Draymond's behavior and put him in check than it does to continue to sustain one of our lifebloods in terms of huge revenue for the entire league. That's a statement. Again, Joe Dumars might have just put out the statement that said, fuck this guy. Because that's the way the NBA is treating him. Draymond is on full fuck that guy status in the league office. It's clear. It's obvious. By the way, no other show's allowed to sound like this on the radio. That's why you're here. That's why it's great to have you here. You know who gives you the uncut Colombian truth about sports here. Everyone tiptoes. We stomp. Except we get away with it, unlike Draymond. Damon, you talk like that, you're going to scare stations away. Yeah. I was a perfect little soldier with the best ratings in the city, and that scared a station, so I don't give a shit anymore. I'm all done giving a shit. So, Joe Dumars used to work for the Kings, apparently is still helping out the Kings and the Warriors. It's Event Horizon. They're in an awful lot of trouble. Game 3 tomorrow night. I hope you will be there, certainly watching and maybe even listening on the AMP app, because when that game goes final, I'm going to be going live, Wi-Fi permitting, from Chase Center and doing a post-game show with a little music thrown in, some interviews of Bay Area media members, other media members who might stop on by. And we're going to have some fun live from Chase Center on the AMP app exclusively when Game 3 ends tomorrow night. Download the AMP app, AMP. If you actually listen to the show, you'll be one of like 15 people listening to it. It's a small little, it's like if you think we got a cool little small club here on the chat line, wait until you see the AMP thing. It's like the Little Rascals Clubhouse. We can only get 7 people in there. So, we're exploring new spaces. We're doing new things. Speaking of exploring new spaces, the only other story that we really have for you today, other than the reaction to Draymond's suspension, is the fact that if the 49ers really end up now trading Trey Lance, and you can just feel the entire NFL media ecosystem bracing 49er fans for the fact that that might indeed happen, if the 49ers actually do trade Lance, the only thing I can tell you is that Brock Purdy really better be the second coming of Jesus Christ. I mean, he better be incredible for them to get off of a prospect that they gave so much draft capital up to because they were convinced that he was about to be incredible. That is going to be a big moment, a fork in the road, if you will, for the 49ers. Ian Rappaport today, other outlets are saying that they're fielding phone calls. A call has come in from the Minnesota Vikings. A call has come in from the Miami Dolphins. Calls are coming in with other teams expressing interest in Trey Lance because they know that the 49ers are comfortable going ahead with Brock Purdy as the starter. Smart front offices always take those calls. Always. You take that call. You listen to offers. You keep lines of communication open at all times. Again, this is something that Farhan is terrible at. But the 49ers got a front office that is good at this. And they should keep these offers open. And they should consider whatever other teams are willing to give up for Trey Lance. But, and these are a couple big buts here. Number one, any trade of Trey Lance before June 1st means the 49ers are going to get stuck with about $11 million in dead cap. So that is, it's not the worst I've ever heard, but that's not good. And then there's the whole question of who, I don't mean to talk about Trey as a product, but what are you trading? Who have you got in this guy? What is he going to be in this league? What has he been in this league so far? Does he suck? Is he damaged goods? Is he about to totally see the Matrix and all of a sudden it all clicks for him and giving up on him would look foolish after the fact? I don't know. And they don't either. And you got a Brock Purdy injury. And you got Brock talking about, and, maybe he's talking out of turn and he really might not miss the entire year and he was just thinking out loud. But you got him talking about, like, man, I might not be ready in the entire year. Well, then probably don't take Trey Lance, Because then it's Team Darnold. If Kyle Shanahan, here's the thing, though. Has Kyle Shanahan secretly fallen in love with the prospects of what Sam Darnold might do for him? And if he has, the chances of Trey Lance getting moved have just increased. Brock Purdy, as good as he looked in the official shampoo change, Brock is a question mark for several reasons. I mean, we liked what we saw. We liked what we saw very, very much, but we didn't see enough of it before he got hurt. And so now is that guy going to be who you thought you saw? Did you really see what you saw? Is it just an illusion? Is he sexy Nick Mullins? Is he Nick Mullins 2.0? Is he much better than all of that? I don't know. I don't know, man, but it is a odd situation still at quarterback for the 49ers. So that means, status quo. Only thing that changes around here are the seasons. I mean, that's unbelievable that the 49ers have finally drafted a quarterback of the future, selected Mr. Irrelevant, and they're now deciding between the two of them and Sam Darnold. It never ends. The quarterback in question for the 49ers never ends. Neither does Draymond's nonsense. That never ends. Someone would say, Damon, we love the show. We hope that never ends, but all good things do come to an end. Daddy's got a big day today. He's got to get this ankle right. He's got to fire up the old, you still got it in you, kid machine, trying to make him his way over to Berkeley. I got sick Jack upstairs. That means Jillian's tapping out tonight at the Berkeley show. So, poor little out for Jillian. She's super mom today, handling a sick kid. I'm going to go up and handle as much as I can, but, I don't like sick kids, even my own. No, I'm just kidding. Big, busy day, but we do have enough time to open up Club Plus. Hopefully, we won't get triggered once again by YouTube's algorithm because they think this is a Ghostface Killah song. It is not. But that wraps up today's Damon Bruce Show. The podcast is about to be pushed out for you to be used however you like throughout your day. Remember, it's the same show, but better than you've always that you've always had, and now you can start it and use it whenever you want it. Thank you very much for tuning into the Damon Bruce Show. Club Plus is about to start here on YouTube. All you podcasters, thank you so much for listening, and please do remember that sports don't build character, they reveal it.
And like that, he's gone.
Club Plus, it's on, baby. It is good to have you here. Welcome into the club. We have a 2-drink minimum feel free to tip your bartender aggressively. And you know what? Yosarian already has. Thank you very much, Yosarian. Super chatting it. Oh, it's a makeup call. Tim Donaghy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This to me, the league. I don't think this has anything to do with the Kings. This is the league saying this guy has just been getting away with too much for too long, and a little humbling. Look at it this way. To humble somebody who needs a little humbling is a very satisfying thing to do, and there's no doubt that the NBA wanted to humble Draymond Green a little bit. You know, they get that podcast. They know what a shit talker he is, and I think that they are happy to serve him a big old slice of humble pie. Now, need a little, positivity? Here we go from Khalil King. Says, Warriors in 6. I think that Draymond will be a Warrior still. Look, he might be. He might be. There is no doubt. He has some real supporters inside of that organization. But I could also see them saying, like, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Not only are you diminishing returns as a player, but you actually, you've proven implicitly that you do not learn. How long can you continue to trust a guy who does not learn? A lot of talk, and this is from Michael, saying, why is no one talking about how Sabonis tried to throw Clay to the ground and then grabbed Green's legs, trying to hurt him? There's no doubt. Mike Brown has ordered the code red. Be physical. Be a little bit dirty. Be a little bit nasty. Because it might make that guy, Draymond, flip his lid. The whole thing with Clay, there's no doubt. Sabonis is out there looking to wreck shop. It's playoff basketball. There's no more nice guy. There's no more, hey, let's do this as gently as possible. It's time to put some brass knuckles on and go to war. This is playoff basketball, man. I don't want to hear about he pulled me, he grabbed me, skin knees, physicality. Like that's what we signed up for. That's what we're here to do. And the team that is willing to play on that edge without crossing it usually does better than the team that is afraid of the edge or crosses it. Draymond crosses it way too much. We got Steven says, look, they weren't calling fouls all first half and it started to get super physical. The refs are just as much to blame. Look, officiating around this league has sucked for so long that to expect it to be good at any one point in time is fool's gold. Like, you should never expect a really well-officiated game, especially one the Warriors are playing in, especially a playoff game. I don't want to hear it about the officials. The officials haven't had a singular lousy moment in transition defense. I haven't seen a single official get boxed out for a rebound that ended up going to Sacramento. Officiating can always be better. The Warriors need to be a lot better in this series. Not the officials. The Warriors need to be a lot better. You know, we didn't even get to any baseball today on the show. I even prepared this for you. Giants and Marlins. I mean, here's the thing. Both of these teams have played themselves right off the official Damon Bruce Show and into the club because you got two teams that really suck right now. The Giants are trying to salvage a road trip where they haven't won a game. The zenith of this road trip was the rain delay that canceled a game in Detroit. Now they're trying to avoid getting swept in Miami. The A's, meanwhile, and we got Giants and Marlins underway. The A's with their stupid 12:37 start time. What, 12:37? Okay. Mason Miller makes his major league debut. He's a 6'5", 24-year-old righty, and if he's any good, he'll probably be traded by the weekend. You want to talk about you get no benefit of the doubt. I'm looking at you, Oakland A's. You get no benefit of the doubt. Has John Fisher sold the team or died yet? When one of those two things happen, let me know. By the way, I got reached out to by the guys who are the Last Dive Bar, those A's fans that are awesome over in Oakland. We're going to be doing a little collaboration with them soon, too. They got a great T-shirt out that I think I need. But, yeah, it's gross. It's gross what has happened to this the Bay Area in terms of baseball. You got the Giants coming off of the least satisfying offseason ever. They needed a good start to this year to have people leaning forward and staying interested. That hasn't happened. Not even close. And the A's are about as dead on arrival as a baseball team could be. And it's one thing to be dead on arrival. It's another to have the owner of a franchise command the team to fly their plane into a mountain and everyone dies. That's what the A's are doing. That's what the A's are doing. One last chat here. One last look. Never go full. Jeff says, how are you going to decide it's okay to suspend Draymond and admit Sabonis grabbed an ankle at the same time? So it's cool to just grab players' ankles as they run? What are we doing now? Well, that's all fair. That's all fair. But Domantas Sabonis hasn't had multiple moments of just assholery that the league obviously factored this in. Draymond did not get suspended for this singular action. This is a culmination of a career that got Draymond suspended. Sabonis is not at the full culmination of the career. It isn't. It's not. Sabonis isn't the guy that has driven this league nuts. It's not. He's not. Draymond is. Had Draymond, look at it this way. Suppose everything that you saw happen between Sabonis happened between Sabonis and Looney. Looney makes the exact same chest stomp. Looney goes right over and is challenging the entire city of Sacramento to a fight. I don't think Looney's suspended for Game 3. In the vacuum of the moment, Draymond wouldn't have been suspended. But Draymond is more than the vacuum of any one moment. And that's what the league came out and said implicitly. This guy is sitting down in Game 3 because he's a dick. That's what the league came out with. Draymond's a dick. We're tired of him. We're tired of his dickish behavior. He's on the edge. He might get someone hurt. He's an asshole. That's what the league said today. Draymond's an asshole. We knew that. We knew that. And look, he's the kind of asshole that you want on your team. Draymond is the kind of guy who is built to be hated by everyone else but the team he's playing for. But even the team he plays for, I think, has had it up to here with him. You have to have had it up to here with him. So what it actually means for him going forward, I have no idea. Was it Toit Towley? Preach, Damon. Look, I've done enough preaching. There's nothing new that I could possibly say about what mattered today in Bay Area sports. It was Draymond, a little bit of Trey, and oh my God, these baseball teams kind of suck. That's it. That's the show. That's the closing down of Club Plus as well. We told you we are not going to keep you around and stretch out a 40-minute show into 4 hours because that's what radio says we have to do. We streamline this, we fire it at you like a missile, and hopefully it hit the bullseye. I thank you again for being an awesome audience. We'll see you again 11 a.m. Pacific time right here on the Damon Bruce Show on Damon Bruce Plus, only on YouTube and on Twitch. By the way, the Twitch audience is growing. We might even have like 25 followers over there now. The kids, they're loving the Plus. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have been awesome. Have a great day, and I will be talking to you tomorrow at 11 a.m., and then tomorrow night on the AMP app after Game 3 gets put to bed and maybe even the Warriors Dynasty gets closer to being tucked away and put to bed. If they go down 0-3, it's curtains, everyone. You know that. The Warriors, I do believe, need to win the next 4 in a row to see the second round. There is no Game 7 win on the road waiting for them. They're going to have to do it in Game 5. Let's see if they even reach a Game 5. All of a sudden, Game 5, asterisk, parentheses, if necessary. We'll see if they can make it necessary. Thanks so much for tuning in today. You guys are the best. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Cheers. Have yourself a great night. And remember, when Club Plus closes, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.